Hey, and today we do the second part of the Pythagorean theorem where we pull in and we're using word problems. Okay, so first thing we want to do, we read the problem or read the directions first, actually. Many real world problems can be modeled and solved using the Pythagorean theorem. When solving these problems, it is always helpful to draw a picture. I can't stress that enough to you, it is. So we have a flat screen TV in the shape of a rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to draw a rectangle. The rectangle does not have to be perfect. Okay, it has a width of 36, and a height of 20. Okay, remember rectangles make right angles at every corner. Okay, find the length of the diagonal. The diagonal is from opposite corner to opposite corner. So this is what I'm looking for. So in a sense, I'm looking for C. Okay, so now we plug in. I'm going to go to this. We're looking for C. So we plug into the Pythagorean theorem formula because we have the rectangle is divided into two triangles, two right triangles. Okay, if it's 36 over here, then it's going to be 36 over here. And I can say this is A, this is B, and there's C. So I plug into the Pythagorean theorem formula of A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And we're going to have 20 squared plus 36 squared equals C squared. And it still applies. We round to the tenths. Round to tenths. Now we simplify. 20 squared is 400 plus 36 squared is 1296. And yes, you get to use a calculator, equals C squared. Now we combine these two like terms, and that becomes 1696 equals C squared. And now we take the square root because I want to know what just C equals. Oh, look, see, I left it as C squared instead of plugging in the X. You can do either one. Okay, so this is supposed to be X. And when I take the square root, so we're going to have second square root 1696. We round to the nearest tenth. So the 8 causes the 1 to round up. So therefore, X equals 41.2. Now this is a word problem. So when I write my solution, I have to include my units. And notice that the units are inches. So we have 41.2 inches as our final answer. Okay, let's work another example. Looking at number 2. Okay, we have a 20-foot piece of wire and it is attached from the top of a flagpole to a stake in the ground. Okay, to a stake in the ground 8 feet from the base of the pole. Okay, so we have it's 8 feet from the base of the pole to the stake. So here's the ground. Here's my flagpole. All right. The stake is located here. So my wire is going to go from here to here. Well, the pole is straight up and down. So this makes a right angle right here. And this is 8 feet from here to here. And the wire is 20 feet. Okay, so, and we're looking for the height of the flagpole. So this is X, and this is one of the legs because it is a side of the right angle. Okay, so we're plugging into the the Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to say this is A, B, C. So we have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Plug them in. So I'm going to have 20 squared plus X squared equals 8. Oh, look at the mistake I made. I did not label this correctly. When I look at this, 20 is the side opposite the right angle. This is supposed to be C. This is supposed to be A. Okay, so now that I caught that mistake, and the reason I caught it is because 20 is bigger than 8, and C is also always supposed to be the biggest number. So there's multiple ways that you can catch your errors. It's supposed to be opposite, and then it's also supposed to be the largest number in the C spot. So let's get this right. So I have A squared plus X squared equals 20 squared. Now that we have it plugged in correctly and labeled correctly, we simplify. So I have 64 plus X squared equals 400. We subtract 64, subtract 64, and we get X squared equals 336. And we take the square root of each side. So I plug in here, second square root. Oops, let's make sure we can see it. 336, enter. We're rounding to the 10th place. So we get that X equals 18.3. Now, what's our units that we're dealing with? Feet. So we're going to have 18.3 feet. All right, one last example. Here we go. We're going to jump down to number 4. Okay, so we've got Josh and Ben spotted a bear in the woods while riding their bikes. Josh rode 3 miles north. So Josh and Ben were at the same spot when they spotted the bear, and then they rode places. So Josh rode 3 miles north. So this is where they start. Josh went north 3 miles. So this is Josh. And Ben rode 2 miles east. So that's this way. And that's, I know it's not, well, I should probably really make that shorter. So because it's supposed to be smaller. Okay. So this is 2 and this is Ben. We want to know how far apart are the 2 boys as the crow flies, you would call it. So we're going from here to here, and this makes a right angle. All right, so we're looking for the hypotenuse of a right triangle that was formed. We labeled them correctly, so I'm going to have A, B, C, plugging into the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So I'm going to have 2 squared plus 3 squared equals X squared. We have 4 plus 9 equals X squared. 13 equals X squared. Take the square root of each side. So I do second square root, 13, enter. And remember, we're rounding to the tenths. So we have 13.6 equals X. Now, what's our units? Miles. So we're going to say 13.6 miles. Okay. If you have any questions, make sure that you ask or you rewind and watch it again. And your assignment is going to be the odds And the evens and the mays are extra credit. Have a great day.